Boys, we just finished watching up, the generational pay-per-view this Saturday, UFC 323. Now, with that being said, was it 323 or 322? Am I tripping? I think it's 22. Yeah, I'm straight up tripping. UFC 322. With that being said, I need the FBI to be investigating some of these fights because some of these are just straight up rigged. With that being said, as you can see on screen, we got every single winner and every single loser. I believe this is the first time I've ever done this on this channel, but we also got those prelims because on this Rare MMA channel, we go through every single winner. With that being said, let's get into this main card. We're going to run through every single fighter on this main card, who they should fight in next, and welterweight is stacked right now. I honestly don't know exactly what's going to happen. I think I'm going to make a video sometime next week of matchmaking every single top 15 welterweight because it's just stacked right now and there's so many different options the UFC can go with this. With that being said, Islam Makhachev got it done over JDM, and we clown over Leon getting broken. I don't think I've ever seen in my entire life someone get broken so badly like Jack Della Maddalena did this Saturday, and tough to watch going into the end of the third round. You could just see the facial expression. Dude's about to cry. This was a hard to watch fight if you're a JDM fan. With that being said, it is what it is. What's next for the double champ Islam Makhachev? This dude said he wants to defend his belt multiple times. I don't think we're gonna see Makhachev defend many times, if I'm gonna be honest. He is 34 years old, so I mean, I could see him defend a few times. I don't think we're gonna see a crazy defense spree from Makhachev. I'm not gonna lie, maybe 2 to 3 max and he's done. There's so many options we could do with this. Either we're gonna see Makhachev defend the belt one more time and then defend again at the White House, or we're just gonna see him sit out until the White House. And if I had to bet on it, it's probably gonna be that. I think we're gonna wait to the White House, and the biggest fight you can make at the White House for Makhachev is going to be Ilia Topuria. Now, am I confident at all that Ilia gets it done? No. Especially how huge Islam looked in there against JDM. He looked extremely filled out. Again, that was the running narrative that he's going to be too small, and I said that's not going to be the case. He's not going to look super small out there. And when it's going to come to a dude who used to be a 145er, going up to 170, I don't think Ilya's gonna get... I don't see Ilya winning, to be honest. I did think before Ilya could have got it done at 155, but 170 is just such a big ask for Ilya. And again, the biggest fight they can make, I think we're gonna see Ilya defend the belt in the first Paramount card, and then he's going to fight again on the White House card. That's how I see this going out. With that being said, I need to do a full matchmaking video for 170 because there's a whole lot of different possibilities that this could go in. With that being said, what's next for JDM? It's sad to see, but he didn't take any damage at all because Islam just laid on him for 5 rounds, so he didn't take any damage. He should be able to go here pretty soon to bounce back. I think the next fight for JDM that makes sense is, I don't think that's his son, Ian Gary. There's bad blood here. There's a lot of different possibilities. If Ian Gary goes out here and beats Bilal Muhammad, he could be next for Islam. And there's just so many different title contenders, so many title eliminators that we could do in this division. I think even if he does beat Bilal Muhammad, he's still going to be lower than JDM on the rankings. At least he should be, unless he goes out there and flatlines Bilal Muhammad. And this is a good fight, a fun fight, a fight that has been rumored before in the past, and there's already some bad blood here and there. This would be a fun fight. I think this is what's next, just because we're going to have a little bit of a logjam because we're probably going to see Ilya versus Islam. I'm not going to lie. Moving down though, Valentina got it done. This is the one I was so shocked on because I thought that Weili would have been stronger out there because we have seen Shevchenko get just worse and worse as the years gone on. But with that being said, the moment they started fighting in that octagon, I knew Valentina was gonna win because Weili just looks so small out there. She didn't look that small in the weigh-ins, but in the actual fight, she looked like a little ant, and she could never find her range. She was just getting out-muscled, which I didn't think was gonna happen. With that being said, what's next for Shevchenko? I think we take a little bit of break from Shevchenko. She said she needs some time off because she has some injuries that she needs to heal up. Her next opponent probably gonna be a Natalia Silva, something like that, maybe an Erin Blanchfield. One of those two names I think that's what's next for Valentina. Who cares though at the end of the day? Moving down to Weili. What's next for Weili? She didn't have an answer of whether she's going to stay in this division and move back down. I think she's moving back down. There's no way she's staying in this division. She is just simply too small, and she will never be able to hang with the girls in this division. With that being said, Mackenzie Dern next. Maybe we get a Mackenzie Dern title defense or title fight before Weili moves back down. But it's not like Weili's super young either, you know, time isn't on her side. So if she wants to get some more title fights, some more title defenses, she better be back here pretty quick. Because again, she didn't take that much damage. Let's keep moving down though. What's next for Michael Morales? A lot of people are saying that Michael Morales is probably going to be or is the most deserving fight for Makhachev next. Now, if we want to have Makhachev fight before the White House card and it's not going to be against Ilya, it's probably going to be against someone like a Kamaru Usman. It's not going to be any of these guys because that's what Makhachev wants. Is Michael Morales, you know, deserving of the next title shot? He wasn't super high up in those top 10 rankings. I don't think he was in the top 10. Maybe he was top 10 now that I think about it, or top 9. Coming off the number 2 ranked Sean Brady first round KO. Yes, arguably could be next. I think, again, we're going to have a log jam of title contenders, and I think it just makes sense that we get the new guard in here. So we're going to give Kamaru Usman Michael Morales. And if Kamaru Usman doesn't want this fight, I just think straight up retirement. Unless, because I honestly can't see us doing a Islam versus Ilya, and then after that, a Islam versus Usman fight. I just don't see it happen. It's too much time off, and we have so much new blood in this division, and it's just the new guard. Kamaru Usman is just going to get fed to the new guard, unfortunately, again. And he's only coming off a 1-fight win streak against Buckley. So he needs one more. And if he gets a win over Morales, okay, then he can get the next title shot. Then we can say, okay, he's deserving. He's on a win streak. He's on a multi-fight win streak. And, you know, he's a former pound for pound. He's one of the best welterweight champions that we have. Give him that fight. But right now, I don't think he deserves it. And this is what I think the UFC is going to do. And then with Sean Brady, the UFC don't want this dude to be near that title fight. You know, they don't want this dude near the title. That's why this dude was this dude was up for the title shot. He didn't have to fight. They made him fight again, and he lost. He's going to go down these rankings now, and they're probably going to feed him to someone like Gabriel Bonfim. I could see them doing this fight next. Bonfim jumped up the rankings for some stupid reason after beating Randy Brown. I believe he's top 10 now. Michael Morales was top 9. So Sean Brady's probably going to fall pretty low in these rankings. But again, the rankings make absolutely no sense. So this one, I don't know if this one's going to be next. I could see this one next. I could see them doing Sean Brady versus an Ian Gary if Ian Gary loses to below. I don't know. There's so many different things that the UFC could do right now at welterweight. Welterweight is absolutely stacked and probably the best division right now in the UFC. But let's get down to Carlos Prates flatlining Leon Edwards badly. Dude was on like a trampoline. You know when you're on a trampoline and you land funny and you just have that nasty whiplash? That's exactly how Leon Edwards fell. He got hit with that straight down the pipe, made him jump off the floor, land weird, and you know, he had a little smile saying, "Yeah, you caught me," while mid-smiling. Carlos Prates said, "You know what, hold this real quick," and slapped him again, knocking him clean out, put him back out. With that being said, what's next for Carlos Prates? I don't think it's a title shot, and you know, there's a guy out here that people are saying is next up. He's still deserving for the title shot. I don't think so. He's been too inactive. Carlos Prates, Shavkat Rakhmonov. I think that's what's next for Carlos Prates. And again, if he wins this, you're telling me, you know, if Ian Gary goes out here and beats JDM, and Morales goes out here and beats Kamaru, and then Carlos goes out here and beats Shavkat, who the hell is getting that title fight? You know, who's more deserving? I don't know. Maybe we could do this as... I honestly, during the meantime, I wouldn't be mad if we had an interim belt while we have Ilya versus Islam, just to get things moving, you know? But I also hate the interim belt. With that being said, Leon Edwards, what's next for him? Probably not going to see him for a little bit, and I don't think this is the next fight for his opponent. I think his opponent's going to have one more fight and then the Leon Edwards fight, and that's going to be someone like a Mike Malott. Leon Edwards, again, is also going to get fed to these up-and-coming guys. I think Mike Malott's going to have one more fight here, get a little bit higher in those rankings, maybe against someone like a Jeff Neal, a Gilbert Burns, a Colby Covington, somewhere along there. And then we're going to see Leon Edwards take on Mike Malott. And then after that, who knows? Leon might honestly get cut from the UFC. Because I don't know. Yeah, he could probably go out here and beat these older guys like a Gilbert Burns, a Colby Covington, which he already beat, the wonder boys of the division. But these new up-and-coming guys, I don't think he beats. And I don't think a lot of these unks of these division beats. I think we're seeing the changing of the guard pretty quickly here. And you can just see from the top 15, a lot of the older generation fighters are either gone or going to be gone from this top 15 really soon. That being said, Benoît Saint Denis, you're telling me this isn't a rigged fight, Because at the end of the day, an unconscious body just doesn't fall. It just doesn't fall like that. My favorite thing out of all of that was while Beneil Dariush was face first, snoozing on the canvas, Joe Rogan says, "Hold on, I think he was trying to get back up. I think that might have been an early stoppage." While Beneil Dariush was still dead on the ground. I honestly believe Joe Rogan is coming to these fights high most of the time. Because the fact that he said that out loud in front of everyone is hilarious. With that being said, what's next for Benoît Saint Denis? There's a lot of different options you can go here. If we don't see Conor, I could see Benoît Saint Denis versus Michael Chandler at the White House. If we do get Conor versus Chandler, I think someone like a Rafael Fiziev could be a fun fight. I don't want to give, BSD a super highly ranked guy like a Matheus Camilo, because at the end of the day, yes, he's on a little bit of a win streak here, but it's not like this dude hasn't been finished, hasn't been losing recently. He's on a good little win streak here, 3 in a row now. But it wasn't too long ago, last year, when we saw him on a back-to-back knockout spree. So yes, I do think he deserves a jump up, and I do think Fiziev is a jump up. Put this as a main event of a fight night. I wouldn't be mad about this. And if he gets past someone like a Rafael Fiziev, we can do a Matheus Camilo next. Something like that. Then we can start looking higher. Or we can look at a Dan Hooker if he's coming off a loss from Armin, or if he's coming off another fight after Armin. I wouldn't be mad at things like that. That could work out. With that being said, what's next for Beneil Dariush? I don't think we're going to see Dariush here for much longer. And again, it's the changing of the guard. He's going to get a new up-and-coming guy. And just like Leon Edwards, I don't think this is going to be the next fight for his opponent. I think his opponent's going to have one more fight, and I think he's going to fight here pretty soon. And then we're going to see the Beneil Dariush fight. And I think that's going to be Quillan Salakid. I think Quillan's going to fight here on that Volkanovski card. After that, he can call out a Beneil Dariush. If I'm Quillan Salakid, well, whoever I'm fighting next, if I beat that guy, if I knock that dude out on that mic, I'm calling out Beneil Dariush. I think that's what's next for Quillan. Let's keep going down to these prelims now. Prelims will run through pretty quickly. I know a lot of you guys don't care that much, but we got some big names on these prelims. Bo Nickal, crazy head kick in that third round. What's next for Bo Nickal? I think we give him a name value dude, someone who's not ranked though, but a name value dude in Kevin Gastelum. Now, Gastelum is either gonna stuff the takedowns, work his way back up, and knock out Bo Nickal, or Bo Nickal is gonna ragdoll Kevin Gastelum on the ground. Those are the only two options, and I think it's time we stop giving Bo Nickal a bunch of cans. Yes, the Rodolfo fight was a good fight, but it's clear today that Bo Nickal is better than that level of competition. Let's see how he does against Kevin Gastelum. If he beats Kevin Gastelum and does it in a good way, we can look into another chance in these rankings. Do I ever think Bo becomes champion? No. I could see him getting ranked, but I don't know if he makes it to the top 10, top 5 level in this division. But I think this could be a good fight. I think this could be main card. We can put this on a main card of a pay-per-view. I wouldn't be mad about this on a main card. I wouldn't be mad if this was the main event of the prelims either. This is a good fight. It could go either of these directions, and honestly, this could probably be a White House card too. This could be on the White House. So that being said, let's go down to Gregory Rodrigues. What do we do next with buff Barack Obama? I think we test the chin of Marvin Vettori. I think we give him another top 15 fighter in Vettori. Vettori's on a huge down streak in his career, and I think Rodrigues gets it done here. I think he pieces up Marvin Vettori all 3 rounds, all 5 rounds if it goes 5 rounds. And then we have RoboCop in the top 15, Marvin Vettori out of the top 15. And much like a lot of these divisions, it's time to see the changing of the guard. And I think that's what's next. Let's go down. Erin Blanchfield. Now, this is going to be a little confusing because I also have Natalia Silva here. I think depending on how long all of these injuries that Valentina has, I don't know how long it's going to take to see Valentina. If that's the case, if she has a lot of injuries, run this one in the meantime. Title eliminator. Winner is guaranteed the title shot. And if it's a long layoff, like something like I don't want to see a Shavkat situation, but if she's out for close to a year, fuck it, interim belt. I hate the interim belt, but in this case, I guess it could be warranted. I don't know. Run this one next. This is a title eliminator, and the winner of this should fight Valentina. And again, with that being said, who really cares? Then Ethan Ewing, upset of the card, coming out here 2 days notice, beating Malcolm Wellmaker all 3 rounds pretty easily too, having no real adversity in this fight. Crazy win for Ethan Ewing. Changed his life overnight. What's next for him? I think we give him a Bashrat, bro. Give him Javid Bashrat. A good name value dude. And if he can beat someone like a Bashrat, bro, it'll push him even higher up. I don't want to see, just because he beat one of these up-and-coming stars in Wellmaker, I don't want to push him too high, you know? Wellmaker and Bashrat, I don't think it's a huge jump up in competition. I'm not going to lie. Do this one next. If he gets past Bashrat, if he gets past him impressively, then we can look up a bigger name in the division. Then we can look at maybe an Adrian Yanez type of fight. But I don't want to push him too fast just yet. He just made his debut up against a guy that we didn't know too much about in Malcolm Wellmaker. Let's keep moving down though. Kyle Daukaus. How is Kyle Daukaus not top 15 yet? Even this fight. I hope GM3 got paid good for that fight, you know, just like Beneil Dariush, just like JDM, just like Weili. I hope they took the money from that rigged fight. I'm just kidding. With that being said, Kyle Daukaus, Roman Dolidze. It's time that Kyle Daukaus got into the top 15. Roman Dolidze, you know, coming off that loss to Hernandez, just getting dominated. And then I guess he came off a win over Marvin Vettori. I don't have that highly, you know. And then the weird win over Holland. He beat Anthony Smith. So did everyone's grandma. But yeah, I think this is a good fight next for Kyle Daukaus. I think he beats Roman Dolidze. And then again, changing the guard, get Dolidze out of the top 15. With that being said, Pat Sabatini got it done. I thought Chepe Mariscal's scrambles would have been a lot better. With that being said, who cares? Give him someone like a David Onama. David Onama coming off a loss to Garcia not too long ago. It wasn't a crazy KO flatline finish. He was still conscious. He should be ready to go semi soon. We should see him early next year. Then Fatima Kline got it done. She looked really good out there. Let's do someone like Amanda Ribas next. Again, changing on the guard. Get these old fighters out of here. Then Susurkaev got it done. I think this would be a hilarious fight. Plus, I want to see this dude flatline. Susurkaev versus Torres Finney. I want to see Torres Finney flatline. I think Susurkaev can get it done. I need to see this fight. Moving down, also, opener of the entire card. Matheus Camilo got it done over Borshev. Let's do him versus Harry Hardwick. I think this could be a fun fight. Actually, I'm just thinking about it now. I think Hardwick is going back down to 145. I don't care. Let me know in the comments below who should Matheus Camilo fight next. With that being said, really fun card up until, you know, the main and co-main event. It is what it is, but really fun card. Let me know in the comments below, what do you guys think of it? Would you match these guys up a little bit different? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys in my next video.